Day one practice for Santee Cooper, event number 4. The question is, are they going to be sight fishing again or are they not sight fishing? From what I understand, it's all about big bites here, not about numbers. You don't get a lot of bites, but the ones you get are good, so that's what we're looking for. Big one too. We get in an area that we can just feel comfortable and fish our strengths. Got so many rods. I've got an arrow down to 17 rods, so to start with, so that's pretty good actually.
17 down from 30.
I don't know what we're down to. Day one practice for Santee Cooper, event number 4, coming off another subpar finish. We are down here practicing, and to be honest with you, the question is, are they bed fishing? Is it going to be sight fishing again? Are they not sight fishing? How much spawn? How much post spawn are they? And can we get in an area that we can just feel comfortable and fish our strengths? That's what we're looking for today. Probably going to see some big ones at some point, but from what I understand, it's all about big bites here, not about numbers. You don't get a lot of bites, but the ones you get are good, and so that's what we're looking for. It is 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock Central, which means it's 2 o'clock wherever we're at here, Eastern time. And this morning was pretty dang windy. I guess it's still maybe windy, but where I was at, it was really windy and cloudy, even like a touch of sprinkles on me. And I covered water pretty quick with the chatterbait, just testing things out. And I caught 3 decent fish, 3-pounders doing that, and I could tell I could get more bites. And then I kind of stayed in that vicinity of that area, and I started sight fishing, looking for beds, and I saw some beds, and I've seen some beds, but man, it's nothing spectacular. I've seen a couple that are in that 4-pound class, 5 maybe pound class, but I mean, I covered miles on the trolling motor looking, and I've tried everything moving baits that you can think of as the sun came up, swim jigs, speed worms, frogging, everything of that nature, and I couldn't get bit. I got some of this stuff that looks really good to me. I started seeing some fish swimming around, and I picked up the wacky rig and started skipping around. And it's really been pretty easy to catch fish. I've only been catching 2-pounders until my last fish, which was like a 4 1/4, and she was fat and pretty. Was on a deeper tree. I'm getting most of my bites off these real shallow trees that are in like 1 foot, 2 foot of water max 2 foot. But the cloud cover just came out. Again, it did get sunny for a little bit, and I was picking on the shade on these cypress trees, so I don't know. We'll see if it's going to change again or not, but just, pitch it in there and let it sit for a little bit, and they come. They're either there or they're not. You don't feel the bite, they just swim off with it. And so You know, our goal weight's 20 pounds, and right now we got about 1490. We probably hit 15 pounds today. Yeah, we hit 15 pounds already. So it's a decent start. I feel like if that sun comes out, I know how to get bit. And if it gets really windy and kind of rainy, I know I can get bit. Like this in between where it's a little cloudy now, and the day's up, I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna cover some more water with this wacky rig. It's slow fishing, really target specific. And I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled too for more beds, because I do still feel like that's the way to catch a giant. I wish I could say I was smart enough to have invented this idea, but pretty sure I saw somebody else do it. Just like most of the stuff we know about bass fishing. You just peel it around, and then when you put your hook in, you put it through all the way. Now it'll go underneath that ring. I got that ring on there, so that ring is in between, and this actually tape will help from tearing and losing. So I won't lose another worm again. They got on top of that high spot and spawned, didn't they? Yep, there's one little guy. He's still on his bed. He may have missed out. He's just hoping that there's more girls left. He's like, please. Dude, I went by one bed, pushed the fish off. I saw him. There's 3 of them on it, and 2 of them were good size. One was really good. Went back to it, knew where it was at, was staring at the bed, and still couldn't see the fish until I basically got on top of it. Dude, they can blend in so well sometimes. But here's your thought. Let's say that they're living in this area. An area like this is where I caught them similar. They gotta always be there, right? Either that or they just start roaming in all this. I haven't seen near as many fish in here. I've seen a few, but not the percentages that I'm, not big, but that's the pattern, bro. Catching them too good doing this. Little squeaker, but hey, pattern holds. Pattern holds. This is what Brad was talking about. I haven't been able to really get bit thrown in these multiple trees either, but you know they got to be there. I need to retie this sucker. Don't break it off. I'm biggin' too. Here's David Fritz. I was watching him swim. I was watching him on live scope. I was trying to get him, and I was like, dude, I better. He ate it way too long. Yeah, I saw him on live scope, and I was like, I'm trying to find which way he's running. I wanted to, and I'm like, oh my God. They ain't the right size in this pocket, but you know, when you get into a pocket, when they are the right size. A lot of guys, you know, spinning rod in their hand all day, like this kind of stuff is a big turn off to them. I can do it. This place is big enough it looks like one of those little Okeechobee joints. I don't know what to think right now. I guess I could just think that this is all done. I don't see no bait, no food again. Nothing. And I'm in a biggin. Who said we weren't on them? Fly. So fresh. Ooh. Afternoon was brutal. Brutal. The only thing it's going to tell me is that I'm going to spend the next 2 days somewhere else. Found two small locations where fish are at, and good for like 14, 15 pounds max probably, unless a big one bit. But they're kind of far from takeoff, so we started out far away. Now we're going to get closer tomorrow and closer the next day. And positive thing is we figured out how to get some bites on cypress trees with that wacky when we're around them. The negative thing is we just spent another 4 hours this afternoon, I guess, not being around them because we didn't get bit at all. So start over tomorrow. I'm already tired. We'll start over tomorrow and build off of the little we learned today. I am a sandwich artist. Once a sandwich artist, always a sandwich artist. Yeah. Just got life by the balls, huh? Just got life by the balls.
For one weekend.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Well, it is 7 a.m. and we are at ramp number 2, failure because we can't get in gate. Trying to put in some smaller ramp stuff to get closer to where I want to actually fish instead of running far. So I've got a bigger public ramp down about 20 minutes that way. It takes forever to get to wherever ramp you want to go around here. So yeah, I'm not going to hit that more early morning bite. Not really that worried about it. A lot of people try to get out there real early, but most of the time, by the time takeoff goes, that time's passed anyway. So I'm going to go probably fish some cypress trees today and see if we can find an area that has some more and decent fish. If that makes sense. More and more decent. I want more fish. I want more bigger, more fish. That's what I'm looking for. I had a good morning. I caught a 3, a 6, and I broke off like a 5 since that's not very good. But once I figured out I had something going, I went and started doing something else and never reconnected with them again. So I got a morning thing going. Problem with it, it's a shad spawn deal, so the wind blows another direction, then so goes the shad. So gotta find something more consistent.
Bassmaster podcast, as a matter of fact, and they were doing their fantasy fishing picks. Because I mean, at some point, dude, you got to listen to podcasts because it's so boring fishing here. You know what I mean? I don't listen to music, so I got podcasts rolling, and they're just continually coming on. Well, the Bassmaster one come on, fantasy fishing. What's the boy's name? You went and saw him. Ronnie. They get talking about this place, and they were saying something about the water had been low here for like a couple of years.
Yeah, there's some old man was out spraying his yard, and you catching them, that kind of deal. And he said, I ain't seen it up this high ever. So what's the highest you've ever seen it? He said, this is the highest I've ever seen it. And I'm thinking, well, my goodness, man, we're setting records. Like, so well, how long have you lived here? He's like, 2 years.
I think this is the highest it's been in 2 years. That's what they were saying on the podcast.
Yeah. It's the final day of practice. It's also going to be a rainy day, so it's annoying. You go through all this, you're exhausted, you're worn out, you got a ton of tackle to do, you haven't found fish, and you got to do it all in the rain. So I got to get that out of my head. Man, I found some stuff shallow all over the place, 2 different places, not even anywhere near each other. Neither one of them are good enough to really do good. So I'm going to try to go look out a little bit today. I'm going to go against your natural instinct here is just to fish shallow because it looks so good shallow everywhere. But it's just not working for me, so I'm going to try to look out. I don't know how successful I'll be, but at least I'll have done it. So that's what we're going to do. 3-day practice recap. Today was a miserable day. I tried to do a bunch of different stuff and didn't catch a bass, didn't even get a bite. So day one, caught them wacky rigging and chatterbaiting down the lower lake, and yesterday I caught them in the morning during the shad spawn on a spinnerbait, and that is it. After about 10 o'clock yesterday, I haven't got a bass bite. Found a couple on beds every single day, and I've got fish spread too far out for a real tournament. So I think right now, after everything I've seen, I'm gonna risk it on the shad spawn in the morning for the first couple hours and hopefully put a couple good ones in the boat. I'm gonna stay there until they quit biting, or until I've given myself adequate time to be able to run down to the lower lake and fill out a limit on that wacky rig. So I've got nothing really good found. Cut line's usually 15 pounds. I will be doing great to catch 15 pounds one day, let alone 2 days in a row. So hear a lot of guys struggling. That's the only thing I can hope for, is that I did find it easy catching fish in the lower lake. So I'm gonna just at least put my 5 in the boat and let's see where the chips fall.